Welcome back to TMI with Terrell and Martha. We are so happy to be here today. We want to make sure that if you're watching us on YouTube that you're liking and subscribing and commenting and sharing, because then we know what you want to talk about and what you think about what we're talking about, as well as we get to more people. And Terrell, we have a great guest today.
Yes, I'm very excited to introduce my great friend, Beatriz Maliszewski.
Very good.
I had to work on that when I first met her. It was a mouthful for me. I had to work on that. But she is absolutely an amazing artist. So I've asked her to come here today, since this is a wellness podcast, to talk to us about her work, how she gets mental health and just relaxation from doing it. She teaches over at Quinlan. So she has helped many, many people learn how to, I took her drawing class, and I can paint, but I've never taken any kind of drawing lessons. And she really breaks it down and helps you learn how to do it. And it's very relaxing, like those, adult coloring books, people use those. But Beatriz, tell us a little bit about what you do and what people can get out of art.
Well, I'm an artist, that's right, and I'm a professional artist by education and trade, and many years, because I'm a grandmother. I'm very proud of it. But as an artist, I balance my creating art and obviously selling and marketing my art with teaching. I think it's very important as an artist to reach out to other people and share into the joy of art.
Right.
Sometimes I think it's kind of funny, because a lot of people say, well, it's so relaxing. I say, well, it's my job. For me, it's not that relaxing all the time. But for most of the people that do it as a hobby, it's a very good escape, and it's actually very good for your mind. So in the last several years, probably like 20 years, I've been specializing on teaching at art centers like Quinlan here in Gainesville. I teach other places also, and teach mostly grown-ups. So these are people that have their lives, their careers, their other interests, and for them, taking an art class is really reconnecting with that inner child that they abandoned, that because life gets
grown up
very fast,
and busy. And the creativity kind of went away. And, we have to make money, we have to produce, you have to be we have to do all these things. So it's very important, and I think I'm really doing it. It's like a mission for me to bring art to these people. And again, because I am an artist, and I studied to be an artist, I'm very methodical in the way I teach.
Well, you were trained. Where did you go to school? Because you were trained class,
Yeah, well, it's a long story. I started my college education in Spain, in a very well-known and traditional art college. And then I fell in love. And I abandoned everything to follow my husband to the United States. So I moved here overseas, I guess, when you're looking at Spain.
Yeah.
And I actually went back to school, and I went to the University of Maryland for a semester, and I did not like it, because coming from an arts college, getting into a big university was a big change for me. So I took a couple years off, had 2 children, and then I applied for the Corcoran School of Art, which people that have been to Washington is the building. It belongs to the Smithsonian, right next to the White House with the 2 lions.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then now it belongs to George Washington University, and that's where I finished my degree. So it was a long road for me to get my BFA, many years, but it was very good because I combined the very academic European background and teaching style and way of doing with a very new to me and very American and modern, and I think much more intelligent way of teaching and learning from the Corcoran School of Art. So it really was a very, very, very good education for me. I think that really helped me a lot who I am as an artist, and then I also learn a lot from my professors, especially my American professors, on how to teach art. So going back to teaching people, I have a very methodical way of teaching. I think everybody can learn. We, as grown-ups, have the motor skills.
Yes.
We just need to relearn the visual language. And that's
true.
what I emphasize when I teach people. And usually what I notice when people are in my classes, the rest of the work goes away.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
You know, they may be there 2 hours, 3 hours, and suddenly, you know, you forget about your mortgage.
The time flies.
You know, things like that. So I think it's very important, and I also have gotten to know very neat people. Because doing small groups, and I also do private lessons, by the way, you really develop a relationship with your students, and it's a search that we do together, you know, accommodating what the needs of every participant in my class is. I have someone that called me the other day and said, if I sign for your class, are you going to make me copy one of your paintings? Absolutely not. You know, I do not believe in that. You are going to develop your creativity. You are going to bring out what you have.
Right.
So one of the things, of the challenges of being an artist in the 21st century is that everything has been done. Mm-hmm. Why make art?
Right. Yeah. That's a good point. I've not even thought of that before.
I think it's so
Must be a
interesting
hard
because I'm
thing.
hung up a little bit on, you said that you had this training in Spain and then you came here and you thought it was better, because my experience with a lot of Europeans that I know is that they think everything is, as far as art is concerned, is worse here, you know, because you guys were the Renaissance, you guys were, you know, the classical way of teaching art and painting and all of that, and that we are fast here. You know, that's what I thought you would say. And what's so great is that she didn't say that.
Yeah.
She didn't say that.
Because maybe we are the foundation.
Yes.
But then you need to keep on building.
Yes.
And actually, as an European, you know, you go any place that is a little bit older than this country, and you say how we build on top of other things.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you look at cathedrals, and the style has changed. So you cannot get stuck on something. And one of the things that attracts me to the United States of America is my new country. I'm very Spanish. Extremely proud of being Spanish, but I love the United States
She's
also.
a perfect American.
Yes.
I'm a dual citizen.
Yes.
She is.
But it's that desire to keep on building and keep on doing new things.
Right.
So I do believe that we need that foundation, and my students know that. I mean, I can be very stern.
Yeah. There are some boundaries that she sets for you to be able to perform your own creation, but she does give you very specific, solid foundations. And she does help. Like, she'll have you see things you've never seen in your life, you know, and perspectives that if you leave a class and you go out into the world, you're almost looking at trees differently, and even the road where the lines are going. I was in a class at Quinlan and came out, Martha, and almost wrecked my car because I was so into the clouds all of a sudden. I'm driving down the road and I'm looking at the clouds going,
Oh, my husband does that all the
Look
time.
at the
He's
gr-
looking all
He's an
around him
artist.
while he's driving.
Yeah, I was driving, and I
Yes.
don't typically do that. But I had just left some training and being taught how to look at the variations in colors, and I'm driving down the road going, oh, look at the grays in that cloud. And all of a sudden I look down, and I'm like, you know, so I'm having to throw on the brakes. It was a lesson learned. I did not do that again. Just let me preface that.
Yes.
But
The next time she
my
signs up
goodness.
for a class, she better walks back home.
Right, yeah. I don't have to
Or
walk.
we call an Uber.
It's like DUI, but drawing under the influence. But it was amazing for my brain. It was an amazing shift.
But you know, it's also, I was thinking about, you said, talking about a class that's 2 or 3 hours long. And I'm thinking to myself, kind of like the way I like to look at culturally how we are right now. And I hope we're getting back to where people will think about things in those terms again.
Right.
Because I think we have been speeding up and speeding up and speeding up. I mean, people don't even want to watch a 2-hour movie anymore.
Yeah, it's a
people
commitment.
don't. Yeah, it's a commitment. They want to see. They are putting out on sports channels
Yep.
a shortened version of a baseball game that is only the highlights. I mean, they used to
Right.
call them highlights,
Because
but
you're
now
losing
it's a short
people.
version.
You lose people.
So I love that you talk about the time that it takes,
Yeah.
because I think that as a country we got to slow down and we've got to pay attention to what's happening in the world.
I always tell my students, and the people that have taken several classes with me, bless their heart. You see, I'm becoming a southerner.
Yes.
Southern Spain.
I always tell them, imagine, let's go back. Imagine Homer when he wrote the Odyssey. There you get Ulysses, that it took him 10 years to go from Troy to Ithaca. That was probably 10 miles away. But, we have a masterpiece. I mean, regardless if it's fiction, not fiction, of these 10 years of going from one place to the other. So you learn to enjoy the journey.
Right.
And when I tell my students, and that's what I was trying to get to, in the 21st century, we go like this.
Yes.
And everything is there. I mean, I get into ChatGPT and I said, create a painting, whatever. Then I take it to Staples, they print it on canvas, they do this, they do whatever. So everything can be done. So as an artist, you have to ask yourself, why am I creating? I mean, why am I doing that? So there has to be a philosophy. And I tell my students, first, for yourself, you know that you have something to leave to the world. It may be your family. It may be hanging in your bathroom, for all you know, and you're the only person that sees that. But there is a contribution to the world. It's not this instant gratification that everybody, So
It's like writing too. Same thing. Literature, painting. We're gonna paint. Me and you. We're gonna do it.
So, if you want it done, it's gonna get done. But enjoy the journey. I mean, pretend that you're Ulysses, and it's gonna take me 10 years.
Well, and I'm glad you brought up that book, because one of my favorite books is Les Mis by Victor Hugo, and it has, I mean, the creative explanation. I'm a word person. I love words. There's the chapter where he's going to court. Jean Valjean's going to court, and they're talking through the whole chapter about what it's like him walking down the aisle to the courtroom, and the explanation is very long,
detailed,
very detailed.
Yeah,
and I think it's and art is in, whether it's words or it's painting or it's color or it's sculpture or pottery or whatever it is. It's that kind of way you create something, and he paints the picture. Victor Hugo paints the picture
verbally
with the words.
With the words.
Yes, where you can visualize it, and I love that.
Yeah. Well, it's building an art like a canvas. Starting from a white canvas, and then some of the things you do to create your vision. It seems counterproductive sometimes because you're destroying and then you create. You destroy, you create. It's this kind of wave back and forth where you can't believe it's actually going to look like what you want it to look like in your head. But with good instructors and good instruction, I went from, my daughter was an artist, is an artist. My oldest daughter is an amazing artist, and I'm trying to get her to show some of her work at Quinlan because she's piling it up and she's got to do something with it.
Right.
She just, she's been too, unsure to sell.
Well, you hate to put it out for other people to see.
Well, yeah.
There is a fear. There's a fear when you first put it out there, don't you think? I don't know. Maybe
she
not
had
for
to
you.
show it.
I don't know. I guess because that has been the story of my life.
Yes.
It needs to be out there.
Yes.
It needs to be.
But
out
you know
there.
what I mean? It's like because it's like
you're
your
vulnerable
baby.
when you
it's
put
like your baby
your work out
and
there.
It's putting it out there to see what people think.
Yeah. Well, I'm just hoping, what I have found is that because she could paint, I thought, well, she didn't get that from her dad. Where did she get that? And so I thought, well, maybe I'll take a painting class. And in that class, I became really good friends with Betty Norton. And she invited me to her house over on the lake, and I'd come over there and we would paint her backyard. I've got several paintings of her backyard. And it was just, I met other people that I just adored, and I learned to be very patient, which I'm usually not. I'm very, A-type, busy. And
Well,
it
and also,
was hard.
we've created this world. We always think that change is better. But if you think about a lot of these hobbies, and they're not hobbies, they're your work, but it's like a lot of young women were taught this kind of stuff. Men too, but a lot of young women were taught this kind of stuff throughout their creation.
Yeah, painting.
I have a sampler that my grandmother did because and it's like I was kidding with my husband. I said, okay, if there's a fire in the house, what's the only thing I care about taking? The sampler, because my grandmother made it. It was kind of her graduation from school. It was done in 1894, and it's got all of her work, and she ended up being a lace maker. That's what she was taught how to do. That was her art, was making lace, and so it's like my most valued possession.
Right.
It's amazing. But I think that I think that we've started to tell people that you got to be busy doing other things. So doing something like art is a waste of your time. And it's not.
It is not.
My kids were all musical. They did drama. They had art classes. I remember my art teacher from elementary school. Her name was Mrs. Vickers. And she had this studio in the back of our school that had all the materials. And they were like big shelves. And they had the stuff
smell
on
of the
there.
paint,
And
I can smell
we did
it.
the paint and all that stuff. But the coolest thing, and the thing I remember, and I don't know what this says about me, okay, but she had this kind of paper that must have been photosynthesis or something, so because you would align items on the paper and put it out in the sun, and then you'd get the outline of it. And I still remember that.
Wow.
And it was like one of the most fun things I ever did in my life.
That's
it was great.
amazing.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know.
Okay. I thought it was just like some weird paper that did something it wasn't supposed to do, but it was like the most amazing thing because you laid all these things out on this big sheet of paper outside, and then the sun came out, and
There it
you
was.
ended up with this piece of art. I know.
Well, Beatrice, I do want you to talk about your home in the south of Spain and some of the things you do with local artists if they're interested too. That's a pretty neat thing.
So again, I'm an artist, I'm a teacher, and I do like sharing my passion for art. I like teaching, and I like exposing people to other forms of inspiration. So I've been doing it for a number of years already. I take every summer, every spring, a group of artists for a week to Spain, to my hometown, to paint. It's called the Painting Holiday. We are ready to go. We'll be leaving, I'll be there earlier, but this year is from May 31st to June 7th. So I always do it the first week of June.
It's in Malaga. Have you ever heard of Malaga, Spain?
No.
In the south, in the very south of Spain. It's so south, it's
Beautiful.
almost Africa.
Yes.
It's a beautiful experience, and it's a combination of a lot of painting, because when people are with me, they paint and draw, and but also sightseeing from a very historical and art history point of view, combined with a lot of food. You feed people, everybody's happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We even do a flamenco lesson.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very, very, very neat experience.
I have not yet been able to make the timing.
When
but-
I was in York last summer, we go to a different part of the UK every summer, and because we have this kind of crazy idea about starting to spend our summers there, in the countryside. So we're testing out places. So we went to York last year, and in one of the cathedrals, we bumped into a group like this, where that's what they were. They were a painting group.
Oh,
and it was a
wow.
group of women that were coming, and they were going around painting all these cathedrals. And
That's amazing.
I said, wow, that looks really cool. That looks really cool. Because you think you're so busy in your life that you're always, when I married my husband, he gave me this letter from it was a cutout article from the AMA, American Medical Association, about why, this is really great, why medical marriages break up so often. Okay. And it's about delaying gratification. That's the big thing, is
Right.
because until you finish medical school, until you finish, you get your
Residency.
practice established,
Yes.
until
Well, she's got a
until the
daughter
kids
that's
grow
a
up, until,
neurosurgeon.
all these kinds of things. and then you end up not ever doing what you really want to do.
Right.
So I think we got to find some balance. And tell me what you think about this, because the young kids are like all about the work-life balance. And I think that's really important. But we got to even find the balance between your responsibilities to your family and also being able to follow your dreams.
But I also think if you follow your dreams and you do things a little bit for yourself,
Yes.
you're a happier person
Yes.
for your family.
Yes.
I mean,
Right.
I am the mother of 5 children.
Wow, good for you.
And somehow,
We love big
She
families.
has a neurosurgeon for a daughter, and she understands the residency programs and
Yes.
all
the
that.
fellowship, and
Where is she now?
she is about to finish her fellowship, and she's moving now for her first girl job.
Real
as-
job. Yeah.
I mean, not that she hasn't been working like
Oh,
a
of
maniac
course.
for
Oh,
all
I
these
know.
years.
They use them
She's
like
actually
slaves.
going to be in the neurology department at Vanderbilt in Nashville.
Oh, very good.
So I'm very excited because that brings her
Closer.
to me.
And Nashville's a great artistic town.
Yes.
Yeah.
St.
Yeah.
Louis, believe it or not, when she was in St. Louis, Missouri,
Yes.
it's a great art town with a magnificent museum. I mean, I'm going to miss going to St. Louis. But so going back to balancing, you have to balance everything in life. And,
Yes.
and again, going back to drawing and painting and those kind of things is something we abandon. They make us do that when we are at school,
A
little
child.
bit,
Yeah.
and then after that is gone. Everybody signs up for the gym. Everybody has a treadmill or a Peloton or whatever. How many people carry a box of watercolors in their purse for when you...
I know someone that does.
Yes, yeah, but in general, so we've forgotten art
Right.
because of that.
Because it's
You-
not serious.
Right.
That's
Well,
what we get
it's-
told. I'm not saying that, but we get
Yeah,
told
and
it's
there's-
not
it's a
serious.
hobby.
You
It
have to
doesn't-
leave that
The
behind.
fitness band doesn't count the painting as steps.
Yes, yes.
So-
yes.
And what it does
Well,
for
you know
your
what?
mind.
I'm sitting here. I'm getting rid of this watch.
I think you
I
should.
asked for
gonna
a
get-
regular. I
gonna
asked
get
for
rid
a
of this.
regular watch for Mother's Day
Good.
because I was, it's too much.
It drives
too
you
much
in
connection.
ways that you don't
Look at
need
me,
it.
I don't have anything.
Yes, I
with
love it.
technology.
I love it.
And honestly, it is good for the brain. Like
Yeah.
I see if you follow her at all, if you can go follow her, you get to see her like sitting down in watercoloring in parks and different places in the world. She travels a lot. She's very world traveled.
I want to ask you this question because I think it's important, and I think a lot of young mothers who watch us can relate to this, and it will help them. So you raised 5 children, okay? You kept your art going, right?
I'm going to be very honest with you.
On and
I
off?
always kept my art going, but I had periods in which life...
was
I
very
was always
busy.
a painter, but life was difficult. I mean, one of the things that Terrell and I had in common is I'm also a mother of a cancer survivor.
Yes.
Yes.
But I always tell people the story, what Terrell was mentioning about appreciating when you paint and you draw, you look at life in a different way.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you see much more. So one of the things that kept me sane while my son was sick, well, and probably you talk to my husband and he think I was never sane to begin with.
Yeah, he'd be like, she said she was sane.
But I guess a little bit less crazy, let's put it that way, was that I may be sitting there at the hospital for hours and I was looking at the wall and I was able to see shadows and different things. And that really, when you have a child that is very, very sick,
Yeah.
and I couldn't even hold him because if I touch him, he'll be covered with bruises.
Yeah.
Days like that where you cannot really do anything. And really, my visual appreciation kept me less crazy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
interestingly enough, she's faced problems with her eyes on
Yeah.
top of that. But her joie de vivre, I've just got to say it that way. Honestly, the person you see sitting here is the person I know in and out all over that we've been together.
Well,
She's just the
and-
happy.
But I like to say, I think that, I've said this before, that I don't believe there are working women and non-working women. I believe that women are all working women, whether you stay at home, whether you're an artist, whether you
Agreed.
work, whatever. We all have those things. And that you can have it all, just not at the same time. And I think what you were saying is that you were always an artist, but there might have been times in your life where it had to take a back seat to your day-to-day life for very important reasons. Yeah.
And you know, and I thought, and that also made me think a lot about women when they said, I cannot take some time, how I'm gonna go back to my career, how do I do this? I mean, I produce art or teach art. I mean, that's all I do now,
Yes.
basically. I mean, I probably have paint. I just noticed I have paint on my dress. I mean,
Of course,
I'm a
that's
mess.
all right.
At least it's not
On my
hay.
fingernails, that kind of thing, always. But after raising my kids, I mean, my eldest son still lives with me, will always live with me, but you know, I was able to jump back to my full-time career. Yes, I'm not showing in New York, my dream, but
That's okay.
there are so many other important things that had happened in my life. Would I have made it there anyway if I had just not had children, a
And just
marriage, a
gone
son with
for it.
cancer, friends, you know. You never know. So you take life the way it comes, and, you know, the good Lord will send us whatever we need.
Yeah.
So my daughter is an actress, and she worked full-time in acting for about 7 years, and then COVID came. And so she's had to find a different way to celebrate her art. So she's a dance instructor now. She's a wedding planner now. And her husband and her are moving to Tucson, and she's already got a dance job out there.
Oh,
So
that's
dance
great.
has kind of become
That's
her
awesome.
art that she does. And it's, you know, and my oldest son is an oboe player. Okay. And he is, you know, but he's also a computer, build the cloud, you know, what's going to happen in the next 5 years kind of person. But what he does for his art is he transcribes music. His passion
Wow.
is taking music that's gotten out of copyright, that's classical, and transcribing it and making it available to everyone. That's
neat.
That's
his
amazing,
thing.
isn't
That's
it?
his
Yeah.
thing. And he's always, any free time, he's always working on that.
That's
And so
great.
you have to find your niche, right? You've got to, you know, life happens to everybody.
And try
Okay?
it. Try
Yeah.
painting. And, you know, like I didn't think I could. I mean, I
don't think I can paint.
I didn't think I could paint. I mean,
Everybody can
I
paint.
didn't even do color by numbers. I was like, no,
Everybody can paint.
you know.
Yeah.
But I did this art class, and it turns out that I mean, some of my paintings I was shocked by. I thought, oh my gosh, that actually looks good. That actually looks like what I saw in my head. How in the world did I do that?
That's always the hard part. Is what you
Yeah.
see in your head.
Yes.
Yeah, I also think you should let the creativity come in. I mean, and I tell my students, if you want to go from, you know immediately where you are going to end up, why are you doing that?
Right.
But if you allow
Just
things
flow with
to
it.
happen, life to happen in your art also. I mean, it's good to have structure, a plan, and whatever, but you also need to be open to let things go a little bit different way, because then, if not, if you become a very rigid person, then
Yeah.
the frustration comes.
Yep.
And definitely, if there is frustration, there is no joy.
Right.
Yeah.
then
Right.
It's
there-
got to be about the
There has
fun.
to be a happy balance.
The John, I need to come finish. I have my 3 donkey painting that she's
Oh,
had for
yes.
about a year. So I took a picture of my 3 donkeys and I took it to one of her art classes. And there were several of us at her house. It was really lovely, and it was only about a 2-hour class. It wasn't a full, huge amount of time, but I was able to get it started. So I have 3 donkeys waiting on me
Oh,
to
very
finish
good.
them.
Very good.
But I
It's just more
mean,
painting.
she's so helpful, and it's that's where you can kind of relieve some frustration, is when when you think you're trying to do something and it's just not working out, and how easy it is to just go. Well, she'll come right over your shoulder or come around and just help you to fix it.
Yeah.
See things.
Or to
I
see
help you to
something.
see things.
Yeah, she'll say, well, why don't you look at this? Look at this line. Is that the same as this? And you see, oh, no, it's not. So it's really like learning a new language is what it's like. And it's great for your brain. I can only imagine.
It
It
has
is
to be
especially for, I can imagine people with Alzheimer's, or people who have, ADHD, the children, or anybody that is just learning to slow down in life.
Right.
Painting is just a fun example. And really, what is it they say about art? The beauty is in the eye of the beholder. One person's masterpiece is another person may shrug it off, but to someone else that might be like Like for you, if you did something, I bet your daughter would absolutely love it, no matter what it was. Yeah, but that's the fun part.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be taking a cross-country trip with her as she moves to Arizona. Her husband's gone ahead, and so I'm going to be coming with her. And I've never ridden cross-country before, so I'm figuring I'm going to pay attention a lot to what I'm seeing along the way.
Take a little sketchbook.
Take a
Yeah,
little
that's a
sketchbook.
good idea.
Yeah, or a little watercolor
I'm
thing.
jealous because every place I go, nobody wants to travel with me because I'm always, let's just stop. Let's stop for a second. So,
Look at that. Let's stop.
I
She
know.
gets out with her watercolors and starts painting. That's funny. Well, I think that if nothing else, hopefully we can expose anyone who's watching us right now to the joy of painting, or to the thought of the joy of painting. If you have painted, keep doing it. If you're not doing it, start, right? So I think, where Martha and I are concerned, the show is really about wellness and about different ways to help decrease stress and, and to bring yourself to a new perspective. Like really, when I tell you the perspective change in something you see every day, when you come out of an hour even of art class and you go back and look at something you've seen every day for 10 years, it will pop out and you will see things you didn't see before. It's very bizarre in some aspects. The green.
Well, it's being aware. It's being aware. And I think there's a lot of people thinking about that these days, whether it's art or whether it's just how you live your life.
Right.
Because of, the screens, and so much of that. And it distracts you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's easy. It's easy to just look at something, and the next thing.
It's good for the soul.
It's good for the soul.
Yeah.
I tell people, I say the time, especially with the phone, that we spend with the phone.
Yeah.
Scrolling.
Just get a pen and anything. It doesn't have to be perfect ideas.
Doodle.
Doodle. Make lines. Observe things. Because the moment you start looking at that, you see much more. If you reduce this to a glass,
She'll have you
there's
paint it.
nothing.
Absolutely.
So it really opens your mind. It makes life more fun. And then I also have to tell people, invest in art. From living artists.
Yes.
Really surround yourself with art. Thanks God, I think we're coming away from the very minimalistic and very gray and very boring decor.
Yeah.
So bring real art. It may be your art. It may be hopefully a living artist that is trying to make a living.
Yeah. So
But-
if,
Really,
I have
it
lots of her
around
art.
you.
She's amazing.
So if people want to know more about you and how to engage with you, how could they do
Or
that?
to buy your art.
I do have a web page which it was great, and then someone hacked into that, and it's been reconstructed very slowly because I also have a daughter who's a graphic artist, graphic designer. I'm very busy with many other things, so mom always comes last. But I do have
She's listening to this podcast.
I do have a web page. I use my maiden name as my artist name because I started painting. I don't have a memory of me not painting.
Right.
Since I was in pre-K, I knew I wanted to be a painter. And my family, my parents nurtured that.
Oh,
Which
that's
other
good.
people wanted
Yeah.
kids having great careers. And my parents always nurtured my art interest.
Oh, that's amazing.
Since I was a very little girl, I went to lessons, I did this. They really let it flourish. So I also want to tell parents, I know it sounds very good to have a child who's a doctor or an engineer, but if they want to be a painter, an artist, why not?
Support them.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're going to do with that.
No, I
Yeah.
You don't really know. So,
Right.
I do have that, and I have classmates.
So what's the website?
My website is
When it does work.
www.ramos, R-A-M-O-S, Rivera, RIVERA.com. You can follow me on Instagram. Really, I'm not extremely active, but active, and I try to post my things. So I think it's the easiest way, and you can find me at Beatriz, my first name, Beatriz TRIZ as for zebra, RR art, ART. That's my name for Instagram, and a lot of people actually. I just did a couple because I do ceramics also, pottery, and I was just showing something I did, and
they wanted to
immediately
buy it.
someone said, "I want to buy it."
Okay,
so
good.
I actually
She has
find that
amazing
I
art.
sell a
Great.
lot through Instagram, and if you like pottery, I'm gonna have some pottery at the Queensland this weekend.
Okay.
They're having a pottery art market.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
I'm going to have a table. I usually don't do those kind of things. I usually have exhibitions, but
Right.
this is a
It'd be
good way
fun.
to be on the community.
Yeah.
That would
and,
be fun.
So that's if you know.
And she shows videos of her actually in the process of painting some amazing pieces of art. It's always fun because she'll be painting. She's like the Mr. Rogers of the art world. She'll be painting and she'll turn around, well, hello. Yeah.
With my accent.
Yeah, with her accent. I am painting my da-da-da, and it's just so much fun to watch. Just little clippets.
It's
But
usually my husband comes with his phone and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "This is what I'm doing."
So you work under Beatriz Ramos-Rivera.
Yes.
Correct? That's your maiden name. It has been so great to talk to her today because it is so wonderful to think about the world in a different way. And we'd love, if you're watching us on YouTube, for you to like and subscribe and give us some comments about what you think about what we talked about today or any of the topics that we have, because it's exciting to expand your world.
And we need your ideas. We are invested in wellness and health, mental, spiritual, physical health, all of the above. And we brought Beatriz here to talk a little bit about what she does, because I know that her life is exemplary when it comes to how she manages stress in her life. And as you all know, Martha and I truly believe from the bottom of our hearts that your wellness deserves a little oversharing.